So the June Nintendo Direct just happened a few hours ago, and we got a few really cool announcements, a few surprises, and the return of a super anticipated game that was actually announced over 5 years ago. In today's video, we're gonna go over what I think were the best announcements of this Direct and what I hope happens going forward. I'm just gonna skip the fluff and just go straight to the best. So for starters, we're getting a pretty nice looking new Mario and Luigi game called Mario and Luigi Brothership. I don't know why they didn't call it Brotherhood, but there you have it. At first I thought it was going to be in the same style as the 3D World game from the 3DS because the camera angles looked kind of weird and I just was not a fan. But then we got into what looked like some kind of RPG mechanics, so now I'm not too sure what to make of it. It's also got some pretty decent looking cell shaded graphics, but I will say I don't think they look that amazing. It reminds me more of the sort of cell shaded visuals that you would have seen on the PlayStation 3 or something. Dragon Ball FighterZ, this is not. It doesn't look horrible, but it doesn't look amazing either, visually speaking, but this is Nintendo, so I'm sure the gameplay is going to be next level. Let's move on to the next game. We're getting a port of Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. This was originally a Nintendo Wii game that is now going to be available on the Nintendo Switch. And as you know, a few years ago, we did also get a port of Donkey Kong Tropical Island, I think it was called, which was a Nintendo Wii U game, I believe. So it's cool to see Donkey Kong getting some more love on the Nintendo Switch, but honestly I would have preferred to see a brand new game. It's scheduled to release in January of next year, so we've got a bit of a wait to go. The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, Four Swords, and Metroid Zero Mission are now available on the Nintendo Switch Online Expansion Pack. So that means if you have the second tier of Nintendo Switch Online, you will today have access to not only these two classic Game Boy Advance games, but Nintendo is now also adding a mature 17 rated games to the Nintendo 64 emulator. You know, when I was watching this live and when this part came on, I was really hoping that we would get to see Conker's Bad Fur Day make a return. Unfortunately, it did not. That is my favorite game of all time, but maybe we'll see it next time. But we did get Turok, and we also got a game that I kind of figured we would get, which is Perfect Dark 64. And as soon as I saw that we were going to be getting mature 17 games, I knew Perfect Dark was going to be one of them because a brand new Perfect Dark game was actually revealed for the Xbox Series a few days ago, and a really cool addition is going to be the Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classic, which is going to have a bunch of classic Capcom fighting games. And yes, this is going to have online gameplay, but the deal breaker for me is going to be whether it has rollback netcode or not, and at this point they have not confirmed whether the online is going to be netcode or delay based. I don't think it's going to have rollback netcode, but I hope it does. We're also going to be getting a brand new Zelda game in the same visual style of the Link's Awakening remake, and this is giving me some of the same vibes I got from the Princess Peach game. Instead of playing as Link, you're actually going to be playing as Princess Peach, which I believe is a first for the Legend of Zelda series. The first time that we get a Legend of Zelda game where you don't play as Link, so we actually play as Zelda. But like I was saying, this is giving me some of the same vibes I got from the Princess Peach game. It doesn't look bad, but the gameplay might be too big of a deviation from what it was before. In this game, Zelda does not fight, or at least from what we've seen before, she doesn't fight, which is good because she's not a warrior. But Zelda as a series has been around for like 30 years, and it's always been about sword fighting and stuff, but from what I saw in this trailer, it looks like they might have come to a good solution. So instead of fighting with a sword, Princess Zelda is kind of more like a wizard. So she gains access to a magical staff, and with it she can use it to make copies of things in her environment, and she can even make copies of her enemies and make them fight each other. So it seems like the game is less action oriented and way more puzzle oriented. I can't just cast it aside until I've actually played it though. And also, before people get into the DEI talk, no, I don't think so. This is Nintendo. Ninty does not do the woke nonsense like Sony and Microsoft do, so I'll be looking forward to this game. And for the best announcement of the Direct, at least in my opinion, and I think probably in yours too, obviously we got to talk about Metroid Prime 4. And honestly, going into this Direct, I did not think that they were going to show it. I thought maybe they would keep it as a launch day Switch 2 release, and they might still do that. you know, like a co-release on the Switch and on the Switch 2, but they finally did end up giving us some cutscene and gameplay footage of Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, which is now the official name, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. And I do gotta say, this game looks absolutely amazing. It really does. It looks amazing. It looks even better visually than the Metroid Prime remake, which I did not think that they were going to be able to pull that off, but they did. And you know what? Maybe that has something to do with the fact that the shots that we saw were all dark. What we saw basically was Samus landing on a planet, getting out of the ship, then we skipped to all this chaotic fighting that's going on and explosions going off everywhere. It looked very cinematic, and we also see a close-up of what I assume is like a general on the enemy side, or maybe he's like the main antagonist of the game, but he looks pretty cool. And at the end of it looked very cinematic, and at the end of it, closing the trailer off, we got this really cool opening shot of a jungle environment, and in the distance in this jungle you see this massive tree that reaches into the heavens. It looks really cool. And then we see a release date of 2025, so yeah, this game is quite a ways away. It could come out early 2025 or late 2025, we don't know, but I still think that they're going to be saving this game as a launch game for the Nintendo Switch 2, the same way that they did Breath of the Wild on the Wii U and on the Nintendo Switch. So who knows? I hope, if it does exist, that the Switch 2 version of this game will look even better. So overall, I think this is probably the best Nintendo Direct that we've had in a very long time. I do gotta admit, I was kind of halfway hoping at the end there that the Dragon Ball, that we would get Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, but that did not happen. But hey, you know, you can't get everything that you want, right? Nonetheless, it was a really good presentation. I do think this is probably going to be the last one for the current Nintendo Switch. The next Direct will probably be about the Nintendo Switch 2, or it might even be a Metroid Prime 4 focused Direct. But either way, I'm going to leave you guys with that. I hope you got something from the video. If you did, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I am going to keep bringing you more combo videos, online matches, and video game news on SwitchPlayed. Done.